Okay. So I'm here today with Shantel Nicole Johnson. And today is what, November 9th?
It is.
Chantal?
It's the November 9th, and we're here at Alioha's beautiful home.
Okay. So Chantal has one of the most amazing stories I have ever heard. And I've been doing these films for, 3 years now? Maybe 4? And I've heard some pretty amazing stories. And it could be, Chantal, that your story...
That's a little crazy, I know.
that your story takes the cake.
Let's have it be the icing on the cake.
Okay.
Because I'm so sweet, right?
So Chantal is here with a group of beautiful, mostly women from Utah, and they have come to do something called the Dance of Light. And they did it at our home here about 9 days ago. And it was stunningly beautiful. They all dress in white, and they have the crystal selenite wands, which they use in the dance, to bless and initiate the people sitting in the middle. And I understand, Chantal, that the dance was, before you received it and started doing it again, it was last done 30,000 years ago in Atlantis. Is that true?
Around Atlantean time. I can't pinpoint it, but they did throw out the number 30,000 years ago. The angels that told me the dance said that, yes.
When you say around Atlantean times, do you mean that it was done in Atlantis or all over the world?
I believe it was done all over the world, and I believe it was pre-Atlantis until the fall.
Pre-Atlantis? It predates Atlantis?
It predates Atlantis.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I can't track it exactly because I'm a scientist by nature, so of course I want to know the details, but as far as I can tell, it may have been Mu, it may have been pre-Mu, but it's around Lemuria, Lemurian times.
So then it's
definitely can track it to Lemurian times. So then
it's more a Lemurian dance than an Atlantean dance, perhaps.
It could be.
Okay. Well, why don't we start with how you, Shantel Nicole Johnson, the scientist, got involved with all of this. Have you always been a seer, or what people call a psychic or an extrasense?
I came into this world without a filter, so I have always seen the other side, or the side of spirit. I don't call myself a psychic because I don't mostly do predictions. I can just connect people to the spiritual realm. So my angels, when I first started doing this, they showed me a little phone jack, the old-fashioned wall jacks, where it connects one wire to another wire. And they said, Chantel, you're just a connector, so don't get a big head. And so I always keep that visual in my mind, that there's nothing I know, and I'm not powerful, and I don't see the future. I'm just, even though I get heads up sometimes, I'm just a connector.
Beautiful. I heard Lee Carroll, the channeler of Cryon. I don't know.
Yes, I'm familiar with his work.
When he was, he once asked Cryon what he needed to be careful about, so that he could bring the work through in the best way possible all the time, and what he needed to watch out for. And Cryon told him not to get a swelled head.
Yes, I agree. I don't take myself too seriously. I joke around a lot. It's my normal way. Even though the work, I believe, is so powerful, I can't take myself too seriously and not to get a big head. Yeah, and I try not to.
Okay. So you always were able to see into the spirit world.
Yeah, it made my dad really nervous. And when I was 4 years old, he sent me to the doctor because he really literally thought I was crazy because I was always talking to people that nobody else could see.
Okay. And when you were small, when you were a child, did you have indications about a particular work that you had to do here in this lifetime?
Mostly, I felt that I always just want to help people, no matter what. For a few years, I became an EMT, emergency medical technician, and I went in ambulances and did that for a few years. And then I got my degree in science because I felt that I was leaving the planet a better place than I could possibly imagine, trying to take care of water. I loved being a water microbiologist. And then about 11 years ago, the angel said, okay, you've had your fun, now let's really do what you're supposed to do.
The angel said, so have you been talking to the angels all your life?
Yes.
Do you know the biggies, like the famous four, Michael, Gabriel, Oriel,
Absolutely.
Raphael, and have you known them all your life?
Yes. The first angel I remember seeing as a child was Mary Magdalene.
Okay.
Even though I was not raised Catholic, she's probably, I can go back to about age 2 seeing her. And she's all about emotional healing to me. And so she helped me over those rough periods when everybody thought I was just crazy.
Okay. Interesting that you use the phrase angel for Mary Magdalene, because she was a human being. So what is an angel?
In my definition, anyone who carries light, anyone from the highest source of light is an angel. So Mary, yes, did have a physical incarnation.
At least one.
At least one. But it's a generic term for me to call anyone who comes forth with help that is of pure Creator's light. I will work with them.
Okay. So Chantal, please tell us this story of how you went from microbiologist to reviver of the dance of the light after 30,000 years.
Yeah. It was a really interesting process. When I first left the laboratory, about 11 years ago now, I started doing individual connections. I would help people connect to their guardian angels and their deceased loved ones who were still with them from the other side. And I noticed, because I am very empathic, I was bringing home a lot of pain. I was feeling a lot of physical pain in my body. I gained a lot of weight immediately when I started doing readings. And I just was frustrated. In my humanness, I was frustrated because I thought, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. It should be a little easier, shouldn't it? And I asked for help. And first, I saw a light being named Ishtar. She came in and started clearing me energetically when I would leave the office and go home at night, so I could rest and play with my granddaughter and do all the normal things.
Ishtar, as I recall, is a Babylonian or a Sumerian goddess, or?
Yes, that's what the story is, but she shows me she goes back further than that. And I connected with her through my Native American traditions. A lot of the stories are of the Star Woman. Okay. So most indigenous tribes talk about Ishtar in some version or another. So I believe her history is even older.
Also, wasn't she called Inanna?
I believe that was one of her names.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very interesting. During Virtue talks about Ishtar
Yeah.
and Inanna. Anyway, continue.
And so then I really wasn't consistently getting the help I felt like I needed or the support I felt like I needed. So I was really sad and I was crying. And I said, I'm really going to have to go back to the lab unless something can help me. I don't know that my physical body can take this. And I have a no bedroom rule. That's my sanctuary. No angel ever comes in my bedroom. That's the only place that I don't have to see them from other people. It's really hard for me to go into a restaurant or a movie theater, but in my bedroom is my safe zone. And so no angel ever comes in my bedroom, but they did come and wake me up. This group of angels who I'd never seen before, they were so beautiful. They called me like a loudspeaker and said, "Would you like to meet us in your study?" And I was a smart aleck and I said, "What study? I don't have a study. I don't live in England." And they said, "Come in your computer room." So I went into my little home office and there was about 5 or 6 of them, I recall. And they all had these amazing headdresses on. They had this silver gold bird that went across their forehead, and right in the middle where the bird's body should be was a gemstone. And it lit up with their third eye. So I was fascinated looking at these beautiful angels. I call them angels. And they introduced themselves to me as the Atlantean healing angels. And the first thing I asked him when I could have words again was, could I have one of those head things? I wanted one. And so one of them took it off and handed it out to me. And I thought that I'd get to keep it. So I grabbed at it. And of course I couldn't get it, but that's okay. A side note.
It wasn't physical. You couldn't.
Yeah, it wasn't physical.
It wasn't physical.
They were just showing me the design of it, how it fit on their head. I was just so curious about these beautiful birds. And then they had this long, beautiful hair, and there was ribbons of different colors woven in their hair, and little pieces of seashells and glass and beads woven in their hair. They were just fascinating to look at. And I says, "What are you doing here?" And they said that they heard my cry for help. And so they asked me to sit down in the chair, and I did. And then I saw these light patterns moving around me. And all of a sudden, I started feeling really good. It was amazing. And then they left, and I went back to sleep and woke up a few hours later, and I didn't feel like I had a psychic hangover or something. I felt good. And they kept appearing to me for several weeks that way.
And did you understand what the purpose was?
I didn't. I just thought they were my personal healers. I thought they had just come as an answer to my prayers at that point.
And not long after, you realized something else.
Yes. After several weeks of this routine, I just thought I had this awesome healing team. I'm like, yeah, now we're talking. I can go out and work and heal the world. I've got this great team of angels. And they brought in these other beings. So one time I did the same routine. They did the loudspeaker thing. I went into the office and there were these other beings and they're with them. And I went, whoa. They were really, really tall. They couldn't even fit their heads in my ceiling. So they were bending their heads just for me, I think, to give me a laugh. But they were over 7 feet tall. They had really white hair. It was stunning. It was all wavy and long. And their skin was light purple. And I thought, oh, this is weird. I'm glad I didn't see you guys first or I would have ran. And I said, who are you? And they said they were the Palladian Council of Light, or a representation of the Palladian Council of Light. And they were here to help me bring the dance of light back to the planet. And I laughed. You know me now. You know my sense of humor. I'm like, no, I don't dance. And I said, is that what you were doing, was dancing? Because I was just seeing light moving. And then they showed me at that time that they had selenite wands in their hands, or what looked like selenite wands in their hands.
Which is a type of crystal wand.
Yes.
Okay. So, moment. Don't worry, this will be edited. Mobarata, תיקח את הטלפון רחוק. I told him to take the telephone. Okay. I don't know, I didn't look at, I don't know where it is.
There it is. Take two. Take two.
No, not that.
I'm kidding.
Oh, maybe you want something to drink.
I think I'm okay. I just had water before I came in.
Okay, we continue. Okay, that's pretty amazing. So, a couple of questions. Why the Atlantean healing angels? Why not the Lemurian or the Sumerian or the Egyptian? What is it that the Atlanteans, why are they connected to all of this?
What I think it was, and this is my guess and not something I've been told directly by them, and I have to always clarify that, but my guess is that they're here to make right what nearly or completely destroyed the planet.
Yes, that's my guess too. Also, the purpose of the dance is what exactly?
What the angels showed me, what these specific angels showed me, is what happens when you experience the dance of light. It changes your DNA. And they said that we're moving from carbon-based life forms to crystalline-based life forms. And so it opens your own personal channels of light and helps you experience and be able to carry more light. Just like if you hold up a piece of carbon, it doesn't refract light. But if you hold a crystal to the sun, rainbow light shoots everywhere.
Indeed.
Yeah.
I've heard that before. Okay. I once heard, I would read for years the Crimson Circle, which is connected with crime. Right? The channelers are friends, Lee Carroll and Jeffrey Hoppe. And,
I'm not familiar with that word.
It's a man, Jeffrey Hoppe.
Yeah.
So anyway, there was a lot of information that a lot of us are still badly scarred by what happened in Atlantis. And we have deep trauma. So maybe that's why it had to be the Atlantean healing angels, because we are still carrying those deep traumas.
I believe that, and I've experienced that personally. When I started receiving the dance of light, and when I actually started dancing the light, ever since I was a little girl, I had night terrors, and I would wake up screaming bloody murder, and my heart's racing out of my chest, and I'm in this cold sweat, but I had no recollection of what my bad dream was about. But I was instructed to have a past life regression. And once I did that with Dolores Cannon, actually gave me a past life regression. Have you heard of her?
I know that name. I've heard that name.
She's really good with, she's like a pioneer with past life regressions. And so once I did that, it totally released that, and I've never screamed in my sleep since.
Okay.
And then the angels confirmed that. They said that a lot of the people that lived in the time of Atlantis you were talking about, having these deep scars, we came in with this governor. Like when you have a governor on your car and you can't go over 50 miles an hour, we stop ourselves so much from moving forward in our path, because we're afraid that our efforts might cause destruction. You know, there's a part of us where we're self-checking ourselves almost too much.
Yes.
And so I had to just get really brave and start dancing the light, and it's really my dream to bring it all over the world.
Okay. Yeah, it was amazing. After I experienced the dance, You know, they dance around us, and they have these beautiful wands, and it's a real initiation to experience this dance. And what is the purpose of the wand? To transmit light?
That's a really good question. I'm glad you asked. The angels were really specific for me when I got my first wands. You're talking about 10 years ago, and they weren't popular then. And I was instructed that they needed to be at least 7 inches long, and because they refer to the wands themselves as liquid light. The angels say it's liquid light. It really connects and holds a lot of light.
You're holding a selenite crystal now.
Yes, this is a heart. I've had this selenite crystal heart for many years, and I take it with me when we do dances of light. I've taken it with me following the Mary Magdalene Trail in the south of France, and I've taken it with me many times. We've worked in power spots in Utah, and I'm leaving this here with Eliyahu because he was the one who opened up his heart to the dance of light here in Israel, so we were able to do this here, to share the light here.
Oh, I'm hugely honored. I will put it in a place where everybody will see it and will bless everyone. Okay, you know, it fascinates me that you're from Utah. And so I assume that you were born a Mormon. Is that correct?
I was not born Mormon.
You were not born Mormon.
But when I was older, my parents became active in the Mormon church.
Okay. Actually, I recently saw a movie called The Emma Smith Story about the wife of Joseph Smith, the man who received these amazing revelations that started Mormonism. And he received a book. He received something called, I guess, the Book of Mormon, which I've had and which I've read partly. Fascinating. I'm a big fan of a book called The Keys of Enoch.
I have that book.
And one of the things that impressed me is that The Keys of Enoch speaks very favorably also about Joseph Smith, and also about the Mormons. It says in the Keys of Enoch that the Mormons hold the key of family. And you know, they have like a campus here on Mount Scopus in Jerusalem, where I live. Well, now I'm in a suburb, and they have these beautiful free concerts. And I met wonderful Mormon people, and I met the kids who were studying at the campus, and beautiful, beautiful young people, full of light. And when I read, they have the key of family, it made sense to me.
Yeah.
Because of all the truly good people that I met at the campus on Mount Scopus. And do you have any comments about what I've just said?
Yes, I do. One of the archangels who really helped bring in the dance of light is the prophet Enoch, or was the prophet Enoch, who is the archangel Metatron now. And Metatron is a beautiful archangel. When I see him, he has a lot of fuchsia pink light around him. I'm wearing fuchsia shirt to honor him today. I also have a temporary tattoo on my arm, which is actually Metatron's cube, flattened, of course, because I can't put a three-dimensional one. Anyway, yeah, a little inconvenient. So when I see Archangel Metatron, he usually has his hand out stretched like this, and he has this beautiful light spear in his hand, which we mimic in the dance of light at the end. We put this symbol down on the ground with selenite.
Okay, but so about Utah and the Mormons and why Well, I mean, nothing is by accident. That fact that you grew up in Utah and among the Mormons, what is the meaning of it all? What,
I do think you have a valid point. I do believe that in the Mormon culture, they do put family first, and I think that's amazing. And they're very giving people.
yes.
They're very giving and loving people, and I don't know what my connection is other than that.
Okay, but what your ability? You've been given a dance. Joseph Smith was given a book. You see Enoch or Metatron.
Metatron.
He saw Enoch, or did he see Enoch? Well, he saw others. I don't know.
Yeah, I think he saw others.
Okay.
Yeah, that's cute.
I don't know. It just interests me that that you're from Utah and that you're well. It just interests me, so I thought I would ask you about that. Okay.
That's fun. I think that's the mountains of Utah geographically are granite.
Yes.
And I was noticing your beautiful mountains here in Israel, especially around this area. Are they more limestone or are they granite as well? Okay. So I was seeing the connection with the mountains and how they carry and hold light.
Okay.
And we have a Great Salt Lake.
Yes, you do, and we have a Dead Sea.
And you have the Dead Sea.
Yes.
And so I really feel the connection, even more than the religious connotation, I feel the connection almost mirroring half around the world. And so I would encourage people when they are trying to move forward in their own life path. There's so many light workers here in Israel. I was just stunned the first day that we came, and it's like, use what nature gave you. Use the Dead Sea to absorb and transmute light, and use the mountains that surround you to anchor in more light, because they're ready to let go of the old stories of pain and hardship and bring in the new light.
Amen, amen. Hallelujah.
So I think Israel and Utah are very connected on many levels.
Okay. All right. So, and the Keys of Enoch and the Book of Enoch, they talk a lot about things to come in the future. What is your understanding, Chantal,
Of the future?
of what's awaiting us what is awaiting humanity and the earth and maybe even the universe?
It's not about, it's creating a new story, and the story is love. And it's opening up our hearts and joining together as one to really move the energy forward. I don't see Armageddon. I don't see pain and destruction. I only see unity and love. And that's really the message of the Dance of Light. It's helping us heal our own programs that we have picked up along the way. It's opening your body up to more frequencies so that you can express your true self, which is love. And we're just going to band together and be as one and be in love. That's my vision for the future, that our children will see peace, that we will have love.
That's mine too. I'd like to throw out a phrase from the Keys of Enoch.
Oh, great.
Okay, and I'd like you to react to the phrase, and maybe from your own knowledge, or maybe you'll receive something about the phrase. Maybe you know the phrase. Maybe you don't know the phrase. Okay, here we go. The return of the dove.
I haven't heard that phrase before, but it's beautiful.
Okay. Now, can you, even in the moment, see what you get connected to that phrase, the return of the dove?
The return of the... When I see doves, especially white doves, it means peace to me. So it's the return of peace.
Okay. Because the Keys talks a lot about the return of the dove. And it has to do with the return of the brother, what the Keys calls the brotherhood to North America. The Melchizedek brotherhood. The brotherhood of light. We're not just talking brothers here.
No.
We're,
the people of light.
The people of light. And when the Keys talk a lot about the return of the brotherhood, they're talking about the reactivation of some very, very ancient sites in the Americas. And that having to do with, well, a word from the Book of Mormon, the Nephites, and reactivation of crystalline sites and the importance of the Americas, especially according to the Keys, North America, in the future world. And do you know anything about that? The role of...
I do.
Okay, well, let's hear something.
Okay, so a few years ago, I was asked to go to a place called Glass Mountain in central Utah. I didn't even know it existed. It's a mountain made of totally selenite.
Oh my goodness.
And they said that we locked away some energy there. I'm guessing all of us, from Atlantis, that we did reopen 2 years ago. And the energy is flowing now. So if anybody has a chance to go there, I would highly recommend it. It's in Capitol Reef.
Okay.
Sorry, they're telling me I'm saying it wrong. I got an incoming message, I'm sorry. Okay. It's in the valley that isn't very traveled, and there's a big monument on the valley floor called the Temple of the Sun, the Temple of the Moon, and then the Selenite Mountain. And that area, that geographic area, when we unlocked that, there was 30 of us. There was about 30 of us, and we unlocked that portal to open and start flowing. And Glass Mountain is really important, geographically.
Do they have anything that they could tell us about the return of the dove, and maybe the reactivation of this area in this new time?
The thing that the angels are showing me is that everybody holds a piece. And you just need to show up and do your part. And we do need to gather together as community and reactivate these power centers, if you will, and connect them around the world. That's what they're showing me.
Okay, are you going to be doing some of that in Israel?
We have been.
You have been. And have you been working in the Dead Sea Basin?
We have been.
The Keys of Enoch talks a lot about the Jerusalem Dead Sea Basin area. They're very close to each other.
They are. And I loved the Dead Sea.
The Dead Sea is an incredible place.
Masada is amazing.
It's also amazing.
It's a portal of light. Masada is a portal of light.
And
I felt the same thing at Masada that I felt when I was in the middle of Stonehenge, and we did the Dance of Light in the middle of Stonehenge.
Oh my.
And the energy is very similar to me. It's a portal for peace.
And well, actually the Dead Sea is the lowest place on earth, which has got to be significant.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
It's so funny, Eliyahu, you're busting me. I wasn't going to say anything, and you're digging in and getting all the you're aligned with the light,
Okay, I'm going to bust you to a larger extent.
I want to be an undercover angel, see? Still, that's what I've been doing. I don't think I can be undercover anymore, can I?
Tell me who the Nephites are. Tell me
Are they the Nephilim?
Well, no, I don't think so. Tell me about the history of the Order of Melchizedek in North America. I mean, nobody knows about this. Tell me about these. What is this ancient history that people don't know anything about? As I understand it, the return of the dove is about the reactivation of these sacred places that were used by the orders of light, the order of Melchizedek, a long, 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 long time ago. Mm-hmm. And now the return of the dove is the return of the brotherhood. Tell me about this. Can they tell you about this?
I will ask them. I don't think I've made the connection in my head specifically. But it's a good question and a valid question. I just don't know that I have a good answer.
But maybe they could give you one.
Yeah.
Why is there a giant map of North America with a dove superimposed over it? And the head of the dove is in Mexico. Ask them if they could.
I'm asking. They're showing me Jerusalem is the womb and Mexico is the heart.
Oh, fascinating. What will be in the future with North America, with Jerusalem, with connection to the star? The Keys talks about the star civilizations, building cities of light, again,
yay,
again, on the earth and in these places. Can you tell me about this? Can they tell me about
part of it I do see. There are cities of light already slightly off our dimension. And when I've gone to southern Utah and they keep showing me that the city of Enoch stretches all the way down into Mexico, that may be what you're talking about.
Are we going to be able
to have it on the earth again?
Yes.
Yes.
And to interact with these starry civilizations?
Absolutely.
When will that be? And
it's now. You're already interacting.
Well, not that I know of. I'm sure you see them. You hang out with them apparently, but
yeah, but everyone can.
Well, yes and no. Some people have a gift, and some people don't.
But everybody feels.
Yes.
So everybody can feel them, and everyone dreams. And even if you don't remember your dreams, you can ask to go to the city of light or the city of Enoch.
The city of Enoch. Now, I've never heard that phrase before.
It's the city of Enoch, or the city of light. When Enoch was a prophet on the earth, this is what Metatron has told me personally, nothing that I've read. I really don't read a lot because I want to get it directly from the angels.
You're from on.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And so Metatron has told me that when he was on the planet, he was the prophet Enoch, and he was like an architect and a planner, and he built this beautiful, beautiful city. And the people in the city vibrated at such a high rate, the whole city was lifted off the planet overnight. And it's just slightly off our dimension. And so I can see it at times. When I was in Capitol Reef, I could see it at Glass Mountain. It was a staircase right to the city gates of the city of Enoch. I had a similar experience on the top of Masada when we were here.
Oh, wow.
Masada was more the west gate, aligned with the west gate of the city of Enoch. I also had an experience when we were at the Sea of Galilee that was really similar. A lot of the new babies that are being born now spend time in this city, the crystalline city or the city of light, before they're born, so they can kind of get acclimated to being here on earth. And that's what I know about the city of light. If you want to regenerate yourself, you ask Metatron or the prophet Enoch to take you in the south gate, because there are healing complexes back there.
The
south gate, which I think is the Mexico area that you were alluding to.
Okay. So you just say
before you go to bed at night, just say, Archangel Metatron, please allow me in the south gate. You'll wake up feeling fabulous.
The south gate of the city of Enoch.
Or the city of light, whatever you want to call it.
And to take me there for healing.
Yes.
Okay. Now,
but don't be surprised if you don't remember your dreams about it, because you probably won't, but you just have to gauge how you feel when you wake up in the morning.
Okay. Now, I've been a big fan of a woman who's passed on, named Aurelia Louise Jones. And she's written books about Telos, a Lemurian city in Mount Shasta at the very north of California. Do you know anything about Telos?
Yes, it's connected. I actually got a download about that when we were at the Sea of Galilee here. There's a connection between those two portals. It's a portal connection.
What two portals?
Telos is connected at the Sea of Galilee.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay. So in the books, Adama is the high priest of Telos. I have this drawing here to my left, and that blonde-looking man is very.
Have I seen him?
What? It doesn't matter right now. I'll show it to you later.
Okay.
In the books, it says that there will come a time when they will come out of their city. And they will join us on the surface, our lost Lemurian brothers and sisters. And
see, I believe that's happening right now, and we just don't realize that.
And he says, what he says is that they will meet us halfway.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, they will lower their vibration a little, part way. And we have to raise our vibration significantly so that we will be able to see each other and live together and build the new world together. And so we've got to raise our vibrations.
Absolutely.
Now, your vibration is pretty good, since you came seeing them already. Do you see Lemurians and Atlanteans? Do you see the Telosians who've come out of Telos?
I've had those experiences through my life.
You've met them?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Have you been able to talk and say,
I don't know that I've communicated with anybody from Telos, per se. But I actually had a really powerful experience at the Sea of Galilee with that tribe, if you will.
All right, well then, can you tell us a little bit about it?
It was beautiful, and they are in crystalline structure as well. And I think the angels are showing me in my mind an experience I had as a child that might help people understand what's really happening in the earth now. One of the few people that understood me when I was a little girl was my grandfather. And he died when I was 9 years old. And he would tell me things like, quietly, so it didn't upset my mom and dad, because obviously my father was really not happy with what I was seeing. But he'd say things like, when you see an angel, you need to speak to them first. They won't speak to you. And so I learned to talk to them first, and then they would answer. And that's how it works. It really is, because they won't break your free will. So when my grandfather died, I was devastated, like most young girls would be. And I went to the funeral, and everybody wanted me to go over and say my respects to him in the coffin. And I'm like, why would I do that when he's standing right here? So I'm talking in a corner to him, obviously. And my grandpa was about this far off the ground. His feet were about this far off the ground. And I'm like, that's cool, Grandpa, you can float now. And he says, yes. And over the years, I'm 55 now, so from 9 until 55, he is less and less off the ground. So now when I see him, he's just this much off the ground. So with my physical eyes, I have witnessed the worlds merging together. So I think the same thing is happening with the people who live inside the world as well. As we are raising our consciousness and a vibration, we are shortening that gap. The same with above, below and above. So that's my personal story about that.
Okay, fascinating.
The worlds will merge.
Okay. Again, I'm fascinated with the Mormons and with Mormonism, and with this whole amazing story about ancient civilizations in America, lost civilizations.
I find that really interesting too, although I'm not a Mormon theological person, so I wouldn't be able to answer that.
Okay, but they haven't told you.
I haven't heard from the angels specifically about that at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
But I have been called to go to different sites, like I was saying earlier. Last year for my birthday, a few of my friends and I went to the Snake Serpent Mound in Ohio and activated some ancient power from there as well. That was beautiful.
The mound builders in Ohio's.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that was a fascinating experience to feel what that felt like. It was powerful and beautiful.
Yes, I've seen those mounds on TV.
There's one that looks like this giant serpent. And at the different solstices, it's built exactly as the pyramids. It's with that kind of precision.
Fascinating. Another thing, I don't know, it just pops into my mind. Do you know a writer? Well, you don't like to read much because you like to get your info direct.
I like to just get it directly, and then I know I'm not. Then I trust it.
Which is correct. I'm sure that's correct. But have you heard of a teacher called Melchizedek?
I have heard of him.
Okay. He talked about things that were found in the Grand Canyon. Ancient Egyptian type temples, Temple of Isis, and something else in the Grand Canyon, and how it was covered up.
I believe it.
And the ancients knew about the Americas. You wouldn't know anything about that, would you? Or are they telling you anything?
I feel like I'm kind of on a need-to-know basis, I guess. I don't know. Unless like my grandfather said, unless I ask, they usually just give me instructions in the moment. But yes, I believe that ancient civilizations were all around the world.
Yes, it was connected.
Yeah. I also believe the masses of the planet were closer together too. I don't think we had as much distance by water. Yes. I think the land masses changed.
Well, or sank.
Yeah. Or in Enoch's case, was just rose off the planet into a higher realm or a higher dimension.
And what about Thoth?
Thoth?
Have you met Thoth?
I have. He's always encouraging me to write my stories, and I have a blank about that. Yeah. He likes me to. He's a recorder. He likes you to record.
Recorder, yes.
And I'm
Thoth
like,
was the god of the scribes in the Egyptian.
and I'm like, yeah, later. All right, I'm too busy. He's interesting though. He reminds me a lot of Merlin.
Okay, do you know Merlin?
I've met Merlin.
You've met Merlin, like Chantal has met Merlin.
Yeah. Merlin is, in fact, the one. I don't know if you're familiar with the crystal dendritic opal.
No.
Dendritic opal is called Merlinite, and we were asked to bring to Israel Merlinite. So all of the group of the ladies that I'm here with, we are all wearing Merlinite.
Why? Why were you asked to do this?
They just said it would help our energies and frequencies through our journey.
Do you know that Merlin, it is said in what? Well, they say, people say he was Saint Germain in a later lifetime after Merlin.
He tells me that's not true.
He says it's not true.
Yeah.
And what about the prophet Samuel?
Samuel is all about love and the new earth, is what I'm told.
Was he Merlin?
Merlin just winked at me. I didn't get a validation. He's standing right there by you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Tell him I say hi.
He hears you. You don't need me.
You know,
he says he loves to hang out here. And so does your grandfather.
My grandfather?
Your mother's dad.
My mom's dad. My mom's dad.
He's passed, correct?
Well, I'm just thinking. Yes, he is passed.
Yeah, he's standing over here. He's been watching the whole interview. Hi to Eliyahu's grandfather.
Okay. Oh, wow. Now it's getting very exciting for me. Since I'm a big fan of Merlin, and...
well, Merlin's a big fan of you.
Oh, yeah?
He says you have done more than anyone to bring together light in this time, in this dimension, and he's thanking you tremendously.
Well, I love Merlin, and I'd love to learn with Merlin as much as I'm able to, but I'm sure he knows that.
He does.
I want to ask, now Samuel, who we call Shmuel, and Merlin have something in common, other than perhaps being the same soul. Samuel anointed David as king of Israel, and the tradition is that the Messiah, Jesus, had to come from the house
of David.
And Merlin initiated Arthur as king of Britain. And Britain, by the way, begins with the word Brit, which is a Hebrew word for covenant. And there is a connection.
Thank you. That's awesome. You just made it click in my head.
Okay. Now the Welsh, who were the early Britons, say that they are from the tribes of Israel. And they have their St. Davids and their... And the Britain is a very interesting thing. Now, what am I getting at? Samuel anointed David. Merlin anointed Arthur. What's this thing going on with Merlin or Samuel and the anointing of kings? And what is the role of the house of David and Arthur? What does any of that mean still today? Does it mean...
I just believe that all of the 12 tribes are reuniting.
So do I.
And we get to witness that.
Okay, but let's think about that.
Okay.
The 12 tribes. I mean, that sounds... Even though I love the idea, and it moves me deeply, isn't it somehow elitist? Doesn't everybody get to be,
Of course.
what is the meaning of that today? 12 tribes.
12 becoming one.
Are we all 12 tribes? What does it mean today? What was the meaning of it then? What is the meaning of the prophecies of the 12 tribes coming together? And if it's happening now, what does that mean? Ask them if they could give some kind of an answer.
It's moving into unity consciousness.
So that's all people, is it
It's
not?
all people. We're all one tribe.
Okay, and what is the meaning today of the Arthur story? Or of the day, or the house of David? How shall we understand the importance of that today?
For me, we all have a story. We all have a story. And many people will connect in different ways, but it's still the one way.
Okay.
That's what I'm seeing. It may not be what you're asking, but that's what they're showing me. We all have a story. We're all part of the 12 tribes.
Why is Merlin Samuel the anointer of kings? What does that mean? If he's here, ask him, what is his thing about anointing? And how does that...
It's unlocking your personal calling.
Isn't he doing that for everyone?
He is. He's available to everyone.
And isn't he the anointer in some way?
He says yes.
And Enoch, do you know, it means in Hebrew, it means initiate. Hanicha means initiation, and Hanoch means the one who initiates. And are we being initiated by Hanoch?
Absolutely.
And what is the nature of the initiation? How is it? I don't know. What am I trying to get at? How could we help bring it about in the maximum way? Also for the anointing of Merlin, what do we need to know to speed up this process?
To understand that there is no time.
There is no time.
He says you need to understand there is no time. That it will happen and is happening in time, without time. He's talking in riddles to you. Yeah. So I would say for everyone to do their part, show up with your heart open, gather together, and we are going to experience a beautiful dance of light here in Israel. And I understand that a lot of people are wanting to learn the dance of light, so it will continue.
Chantal, how do people contact you? And maybe get the dance of light coming to them.
Absolutely. I believe we're going to Peru next with the dance of light next year.
But surely you have an email or...
Yes, I do.
Some way people could contact
my
you.
email is Shantel, SHANTEL, at xmission. That's the letter X like X-ray, mission, MISSION.com. My phone number for booking personal readings is area code, it's 001 for the United States, 801-725-1085.
Okay, now, today, people are going to learn how to do the dance, hopefully.
Yes.
Isn't that correct?
Yes, I'm so excited because my whole thing is I don't want to just give readings all my life. I want to empower people to bring their own light to the table.
So, please God, we're going to have an initiated group here in Israel that will be able to keep the dance going.
I'm so excited about that. We brought the dance to Belgium a few years ago, and we all dance on the solstices, summer solstice and fall solstice, or fall equinox. So in the beginning of the summer, the Council of Light, the Pleiadian Council of Light, said that it was danced twice a year when it was here before.
Okay. You mean 30,000 years ago?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you know about... we're going to wrap up soon. It's almost 11, and we'll stop at 11.
Okay.
What can you tell me about the Pleiadian Council of Light? I understand that the Pleiadians are one of the, if I can, father or mother races of humanity. What can you tell us about the Pleiadians? And that they've had a very, very active role throughout human history.
I believe the Pleiadians are here to help bring back the golden age of healing, which we are already in the process of right now. That's what they've told me directly. They're also here to help us anchor more light onto the planet and open up some of the light that's been stored away or locked away. And so they have been very, very active. And there's a new group of light beings, or star beings, if you will, that I've been working with lately, about the last 6 months, called the Phelonians. Have you heard of them?
Tell me about them.
They're beautiful, beautiful light beings. They work a little differently than the Pleiadians, but they work together. The Phelonians show me, I see the symbols of bees all the time with them, and the honeycombs, the geometric shapes inside of a honeycomb. And so if you will, if you can think of the Pleiadians as opening up the light again and helping it to come in, the Phelonians bring a cooperative energy, like a beehive. Everybody has their job to do, and it's buzzy and happy energy. So when I feel the Phelonians coming in, I get buzzes. And I've seen a lot of signs all over Israel that the Phelonians are already working through here. It's beautiful. They tell us that burning natural beeswax candles really helps clear and balance your energy chakras. They're telling me something right now for you. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, they say that they help integrate the light. And this is another connection to Utah, which is really funny. Utah's called the beehive state.
I didn't know that.
And our symbol is a beehive.
Ah.
And our word is industry. And so we really do need to be about working to spread the light. We need to work together like a beehive to spread the light.
I like that.
Yeah. And it's sweet. The rewards is sweetness, right? It's a very sweet energy.
Okay. Fascinating. Phelonians. Where does that come from? Felonious monk.
I don't know where. I don't know where it.
Jazz musician.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. I don't know, because they're kind of new. I've only been working with them about 6 months, but I believe they were pre-Lemurian.
Let me throw out another phrase. See if you.
If it
rings
strikes,
a bell.
okay.
The kingdom of An.
Spell it for me, please.
A-N.
An. An. I saw Nirvana.
Any explanations or?
Is that pre?
It's
Mu?
old.
Yeah.
Older than Mu.
That's what I think so too. They're just taking me way back, and I see like a Nirvanian society.
Is there anything they would like to say to us about the kingdom of An?
They said it's the seat of your soul.
Of my soul? Or of everybody's soul?
I think it's everybody's soul, the seat of our soul.
Can they tell us more about the kingdom of An? I'm sure the word one comes from the kingdom of God.
Yeah, oneness. It's and they said it's also your birthright and your destiny. It's your past and your future.
Mine or everybody's?
Everybody's.
Okay, so how do I connect with it? How do we connect with it? What can we do to bring it along?
They're showing me your cosmic heart chakra. Do you know about the cosmic heart chakra?
A little bit.
It's just slightly above your heart chakra. It's turquoise blue. And it holds your blueprint. It's your right by the creative forces to live here on the planet.
Can they?
And you can activate on through your cosmic heart chakra.
Can they bless us to activate our cosmic heart chakra?
Absolutely.
And return to on? Can they do that even now?
Yes.
As we finish our film?
Yes.
So I would love that.
Okay.
So what do we do?
So let's take it, close your eyes and take a deep breath. And open up your heart chakra and follow the little trail of golden light from your heart chakra up to your cosmic heart chakra, which is a beautiful turquoise blue color. And let that golden path between your heart of the physical and your heart of the spiritual grow brighter.
Oh.
Beautiful. And go into that sacred space and breathe. And ask your guides to fire the grid within. Say, I'm requesting the grid be fired from within. And watch that light up. And let it radiate through your whole body. And around. There you go. It's bliss.
Have I done it?
You did it.
Really? Okay.
You can go back there anytime.
Oh, my. Okay, that's very nice.
Way to go.
What?
Way to go. Way to ask the right questions. Yeah, with angels, it's always you have to ask the right questions.
Okay, then I have 5 minutes more.
Okay.
So tell me about Sanat Kumara and the Kingdom of An. What is his role? What is his role with us?
Oh, that's easy. They're showing me as a connecting point again through a gate. There, I see golden gates. So he's the keeper of the gate.
Which gate? Where?
Northwest gate.
Where?
To the Kingdom of An.
How do we get there?
On that trail between your two heart chakras. The golden trail.
The northwest gate of the Kingdom of An.
That's where, he's saying that that's where everyone enters home.
So we just call on Sanat Kumara and ask us to help us through the northwest gate in the golden path.
On the golden path and connect the two chakras together in your home. It's beautiful.
It is
I
beautiful.
could hear birds singing. I could see the gates thrown open. It was like a fairy tale.
Can we finish by going there?
Yes.
Can we go through the north?
Let's go through that gate together,
Let's
should
go
we?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay. Okay, I'm ready. Just a second.
Ah.
I hear water like a waterfall. It's so beautiful. Oh, the waterfall is cleansing away any discomfort or unease we're having being in a physical body. And as we're walking back down the golden trail, I'm being called to the left. There's a beautiful garden. And there's these beautiful crystalline seats that we can set on. And there's many, many beings of light waiting to greet us and share with us our truths. Past, present, and future.
Beams of light?
Beings. Light beings.
Okay, our beings.
You've been here before. It smells so sweet. Oh, it's beautiful. Thank you for helping me do this.
Thank you. Chantal, thank you. Sanat Kumar.
Thank you. Oh, wow. I feel energized. How about you?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, thank you for this interview.
Oh, wow. That was incredible. Thank you, Chantal.
Thank you. And thank you for listening, everyone.
Okay. Thank you, all the spirit beings who were here.
Absolutely.
Sanat Kumar, Merlin, all of them. Thank you. That was amazing.
And Metatron.
And Metatron.
Or Enoch.
Enoch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Yofi. Wow. Okay. Didn't expect that.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's supportive of your work.
Who? Metatron?
Your grandfather, too.
Okay. Okay.
He says he wasn't very supportive in this lifetime.
I didn't see much in here.
Yeah. He says he's trying to support you now because he wasn't able to when he was here, or didn't know how to when he was
Oh,
here.
wow. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
My mother's father.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chantal.
Here's your crystal.
Oh, wow.